Hi, my name is Ryan Sunholtz and I am with the Seattle CityClub. I'm a program intern and today I will be talking with Susan Balbas, Executive Director and co-founder of the Na'ah Illahee Fund, about the organization, climate change, environmental justice, and the COVID-19 outbreak. Thank you for joining me today, Susan.
Thank you.
For those who don't know, can you tell us a bit more about the Na'ah Illahee Fund and your role in the organization?
Okay. Na'ah Illahee means Mother Earth in the Chinook jargon language of the Pacific Northwest. And we were founded in 2004 by myself and Bernadette Zambrano. And we established the fund because we were Native people, and particularly Native women, are just very underrepresented in the field of philanthropy. And we know, because of deep connections and networks in the community, that we are a very good funder, somebody who knows how to strategically get resources into the right hands to make really good change in Indian country.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and so what is your role as executive director? Can you tell me a bit more about your day-to-day duties or the specific programs you're involved with?
Right now I'm on Zoom, like pretty much an
Constant,
hour a
huh?
day, like 6 days a week.
Yeah, yeah, I feel you on that one.
Yeah. Um, we are an interesting organization. We are very unique. We are a good example of a model that's emerging of Indigenous-led philanthropy. And just like I said, because of our work in the community, we have really strong relationships. So what we do is we're really capacity builders. So mostly around environment and kind of returning to regenerative economies. And so we do lots of trainings and cohorts. We do youth work. We have a team of staff that go out into the schools and work with other nonprofit organizations, doing workshops and around youth identity, helping them to reconnect with Mother Earth and our relatives and each other, and really delving into what it is that makes us Indigenous and keeps us Indigenous, and that's those connections. So we also do grant making through giving circles. We raise funds to distribute funds. We are also, our most important, well, I don't know if it's most important, but our most exciting project right now is we're developing a land trust.
Oh, can you talk
Yeah.
more about that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So we also are very involved in a lot of networks and policy tables. We work with the county and the city and hopefully the port, and we work in philanthropic circles. We work with environmental groups, kind of trying to bring the Indigenous values, which we feel are very desperately needed in the world today, back into the mainstream. And that's one of our goals. And so one of the largest issues is lack of access to land, because, you know, at one point, Indigenous people occupied 100% of this country. And then it went to, you know, like 50%. And then, I mean, you can see the maps, right? Where it just goes
Shrinking.
now. And now, like, the only reservations you can see on the map are Navajo Nation, maybe the Lakota reservations in South Dakota, maybe Yakima, if you're, because it's pretty good size here in Washington. We have two. But a lot of folks, families, came to the cities through the relocation era. And so we have several families that have been here for generations now, 2 and 3 and 4 generations in the city. And so we work a lot with urban folks too, because we link with other communities of color, because we have a lot of similar issues that we write of marginalization, and you know, continue to have you know, some of the lower socioeconomic indicators, measurements, and so we work on those. Not just, we move beyond meeting basic needs and work more into empowerment. And so access is a big one. So we've been doing projects and things on public lands for a number of years, and we come up against policy barriers, which I don't even want to go into because it will take a really long time. So yeah, so we work to break those down, but we also have wanted, we're seeking access to our own properties so that we can have like an urban reservation. We can grow our native plants, so we can do harvesting and medicine, and have like an environmental learning center there. So that's one of our next big projects.
Okay, I was interested, I obviously perused your website, and I saw that one project or program you have is the Yahoo program.
Yahoo.
And I saw that you do programs or activities to reclaim native land, and something I saw was the cedar bark harvesting. And I'm wondering just about that program, and then even your education programs, how they've been affected by the COVID-19 outbreak. Obviously, you said earlier you've done a lot of Zoom calls lately. Are you guys still able to do any education programs online? And then as far as reclaiming native land and getting outdoors, have you guys been able to do anything social distance wise at all?
Yeah, so our Yahoo program is kind of encompasses much of what we do. Yahout is from a Snoqualmie story, which means Yahout, come together and lift up the sky together. So it's about coming together and empowering each other. And so what we do with that is it's been really cut back because a lot of it's so hands-on, right? We get into the land, we get our hands dirty, right? So we are planning right now for a climate justice cohort where we will be recruiting about 10 to 12 Native women from cities and reservations locally, and we will be looking at new technologies. We've done like solar workshops at Lummi Nation. We've done, we look at water issues, food sovereignty, all the different aspects of what it is to create a beautiful regenerative economy that's not extracting from the earth, but it's giving back. Yeah. So we've been trying to hold off, hoping that we could get together because cohorts, that's part of it, is coming together and loving each other, right? And making those good connections. But I think we're going to be forced to start it online during Zoom. So what are you going to do? You do what you got to do, right?
Yeah, adapting is part of this all too, and it's difficult, but people are making it work, and it's really awesome to see that people are coming together to make it work, that we can't be together, but we're in this generation that we're able to. But yeah, as far as programs and those activities that we need to be like together in person, I miss them, and I can't imagine the change it's taken on the communities you're working with and getting outside and reclaiming your land. And
yeah, well, one of the programs you just sparked my memory. One of the programs who is really adapting to it quite well is our Native Girls Code. Because they're all hotshot little coders, these little teen girls. They put us all to shame. And, you know, over the years, we make sure that they have technology that they need and they're just soaring in school, but they've just adapted right away. So they're online with their teachers and stuff like every weekend. So,
wow. Yeah, I was actually going to mention the Native Girls Code. And then I mentioned earlier, I'm interested in just education and policy, and the STEAM program I found you guys is so interesting, that you incorporate the arts and culture
always,
and the indigenous background and history. And I'm just wondering how important you think the intersection is between 21st century skills and then indigenous culture, because you said earlier that you think we should have it indigenous background and culture more involved in our world today. And I'm wondering how we can do that, because your students and your communities are learning it, the youth are learning it, and I would like to know how we can spread it all around.
Yeah, well, we do trainings.
Yeah.
We do an allyship training called Mamuk Seeks.
Okay.
It means to make good friends, and we do we give a history from our perspective, which is not taught in the schools, and then we go into the impacts of the different eras of what's happened over time with colonization. And then we talk about today, and we talk about our values, and which are, you know, connectedness. That I think that that speech by Chief Seattle is really true, right? We are not apart from, but we are a part of. So,
Exactly.
so we really believe that, we practice that, and it's getting proven right now in this crazy time that we're in, right? And we look out and I see, you know, the birds are quite happy right now. The air is very happy and clear. The water is lovely. It's like back to normal, really? Are we really going to do that? Really? Come on, you guys. We can do better. Humans are smart. Let's act smart.
Right?
Yeah.
A lot of the policy I'm reading in the plans for life after COVID is not only rebuilding our economies, but how we can rebuild them and mitigate the ecological effects that we've been dealing with for so long, and how can we make sure to dilute the two and like bring them together to solve them and not just fight for one rather than the other.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
and related to COVID-19 and then back to the Native American wisdom, is there anything, obviously Na'ah Illahee, you said means Mother Earth, is there anything specific that you think we can learn from Native American wisdom about Mother Earth and what's happening about climate change and specifically the pandemic?
Well, absolutely. You know, we're all a part of life, the circle of life, and everyone and every being has their place and their role. And when that gets upset and out of balance, things like this happen.
Yeah.
Right? This is what happens when things are so heavily disrupted by fire and too much development. That is what happens. It's basically about staying in balance, and we are out of balance right now. Yeah, like I've heard it many times that we're at that critical point right now with the Puget Sound and the Salish Sea, that we can go one way, which is the way of like the San Francisco Bay, which is completely polluted and very little life in it. And I know some people fish, but which is mostly for transportation, which is what they're trying to do to our area. And that's what you get, right? That's what you get. Or we can go in the other direction, which is finding the balance of, you know, we all live in this society, so we absolutely need business. We need to produce the things, you know, that we need for life, for our well-being. But I think it's really the greed and going too far is one of the teachings of Native people, is that wealth is really measured by how much you give away, not by how much you acquire.
Yeah.
The complete opposite, right, of the whole system and the way it's the financial system, everything, right? It's
everything right now.
Yeah, it's to accumulate wealth, to, you know, consume. And this is a finite planet. This is not an infinite.
Exactly.
Planet, right? And so, and I know we want to talk a little bit about environmental justice. That's another area we work, because Native Americans are part of the frontline communities that really suffer disproportionately from pollution. And so I started studying environmental racism back like in the 80s. And it's astounding to know that most of the refineries are located next to reservations. A lot of the polluting industries are right there next to the reservations, and tribes are not able to deal with, you know, because of legalities, protect their people in many ways. So we fight for those policy changes as well. Yeah.
Okay, well, we're coming to the end of our 15 minutes. I for sure want to ask the following question. What can we do to support the Na'ah Illahee Fund? What can people do to support your efforts? How can we get involved?
Well, I would say right now, you can sign up for a Mammoth Seeks training, because they're fantastic. They've got rave reviews, mostly, and donate to our crisis response fund. Our staff is really doing amazing, beautiful work with gathering resources for Native families in crisis. And it's been really fantastic what we've been able to do, support domestic violence programs that are seeing that spike right now and have run out of their emergency services. We're planting gardens now for folks.
Oh.
So we've moved from trying to grow food and help folks. We are now helping them plant and grow their own food.
Awesome.
And we are purchasing lots of wonderful items from native businesses and distributing like traditional foods and things to elders and beautiful care packages. And so we're doing as much of that as we can. So it's much money as we raise, it goes right back out. So
right back and keeps people together, holds it together. I love all of that. Okay, well, I want to thank you again, Susan, for joining me today. I really enjoyed talking to you and learning more about the organization and what you are all about. I hope you stay healthy and I wish you the best. I will definitely look into those seminars. I myself am quite interested, and I'll be in touch with you soon to follow up. I would also like to thank Alaska Airlines for being our supporting partner for Civic Boot Camps. And I hope you enjoy the lovely weather this weekend. And have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank
Bye
you.
now.
Bye.
Bye.